So yesterday, I just saw the movie Project Hail Mary with Ryan Reynolds. No, with Ryan Gosling, and I'm gonna give my opinion. I actually just saw half of it because it was too long, and I was seeing it in the sofa because with my family because it's on Amazon Prime now, and I have other thoughts I wanted to share. So I actually read the book, but I didn't finish it. I read like let's say like 30% of the book, and then I went on a trip and I forgot about it, and I kind of just left it to the side and I didn't continue reading it. But I enjoyed the book, at least the beginning. Um, it's a book where you read from the point of view of the main character, like there's no narrator, and you kind of hear his internal thoughts. So it was interesting how that in the movie isn't really reflected. In the movie, I was very surprised. It just starts super fast. It starts in the space where the Professor Grace wakes up and he doesn't remember who he is, and it's just very quick shots. I almost felt like a TikTok edit or something. It was like maybe I haven't watched like a modern movie in a long time, but it felt super fast because the last movie I watched was like a 1960s movie or something called like The Rear Window, where this person is about this photographer who gets in an accident and cannot leave his house, so he starts looking out the window and he sees his neighbors, and then he starts seeing like a crime scene. And I thought it was cool because it's like the first reaction video, because you would see a scene happening and then the reaction of the person. It would be like they basically pioneered reaction videos that are so popular nowadays on the internet. So, and it was very slow, and I watched that because I was on a plane trip, and I was just browsing what movies I could download, and I saw that I'm not like a big movie person, but so I saw. So first thing that caught my attention was that how fast the movie was, especially the beginning. Like 30% of the book that I read was like done in like 5 minutes, or yeah, or like yeah, 5 minutes. But I really did like the visuals a lot, the colors, and how I don't know. He used different transitions and out of different shots, which it felt like very professional. It felt like they invested a lot of money in shots that was only like for 3 seconds. Then the casting of Ryan Gosling to me is a little bit weird. I don't know if it's his acting or the character writing, but it doesn't really fit into the movie because the movie is about how basically there's this unknown thing that's eating the sun, and then it's taking out the energy from earth, I mean from the sun, and therefore since we depend on the sun on earth, then we would die in like 100 years or something. So they need to send people, like they need to send a ship to visit this other planet where for some reason this phenomenon is not affecting, because in all of the rest of like the universe this unknown substance is eating the sun. So it's like a pretty serious topic, and when I was reading the book it seemed like a pretty serious topic, but the character of Ryan Gosling has like a very unserious tone about him, and like it's okay to have like the trope or like the archetype of like the anti-hero, like the person who doesn't really seem to care. He's a little bit flimsy, I don't know if that's a word, but he's like a little bit not whimsical either, but he's just kind of clumsy, I think that's the word. And but he still is able to solve the issue and fix the day. However, like Americans always like to make this like jokes, almost like a Marvel movie. They're kind of like jokes for kids. Like the scene where um, Professor Grace first encounters alien life, and he's trying to escape with the ship, and then the alien life just follows the ship. Like I feel like there's like some corny jokes that maybe is funny for like a 10-year-old, but for an adult audience, it doesn't make that much sense, and it kind of breaks the intensity and like the mystique of the movie and the beautiful visuals. Then I was also thinking about the design of the alien. Basically, the design of the alien is like a rock. It looks like a rock, and Professor Grace calls him Rocky. And I really love the design of Rocky's spaceship. I thought it was super beautiful. Like they tried to, obviously they were like brainstorming, oh, how can a alien spaceship can look like? And I thought they did a good job with that. It felt very unhuman. It felt like a different type of technology to ours. However, in the design of the alien itself, well, before that, I really like those scenes because you could really feel like the magnitude of the ship compared to the human ship. And also, I realized how important music is in movies, like this, not the soundtrack, but like the sound design, because like in the beginning of the movie, like I would say like maybe 50% of it is scenes with music, and the other 50% is dialogue. So like out of the times, the storytelling is carried by like music and the actors just doing action but without speaking. And yeah, I thought it was interesting that in the book you have so much details about how the person is feeling, because you're like inside their mind, and the director needs to turn that into pictures, into like something visual, where you cannot be like explaining what he's thinking, right? The actor or the character needs to express that through the face or through the storytelling of the camera movements. But I think what really did the job in this case was the music. I think the music was the one that carried the internal state of of Professor Grace. Because to me, that if I hadn't read the book, I wouldn't know what he was feeling like. The beginning was a little bit too fast for me, but I guess it's like movies, so people need to be entertained. And Ryan Gosling's performance didn't really tell me anything. Like I couldn't really feel the person. Like I couldn't forget that he was Ryan Gosling. Like I couldn't forget he was acting. Like I didn't believe the character, I would say. It felt kind of weird. That's the problem. Sometimes you need to cast famous actors for movies because they need to do interviews, and you want people to talk about it and get clicks on the internet, so people buy the tickets. But then sometimes they're not like the best actors, and sometimes you kind of recognize them from other roles, I would say. So in this one, he feels like he's playing himself. He doesn't feel like he's playing a character. I don't know. I'm not really into movies, so I don't know what other actors, but I'm sure there's other actors that would have done better. Like, I don't know. And I was trying to think other actors, but I don't really know that many. So yeah, so the music was super important. And then in terms of the contact with the alien life, I think the design of it was okay. The rock, how it looked. I didn't really like the fingers, and how in the beginning when the alien shows Professor Grace like a figurine that he made of a human, it felt like very artificial. Like it felt like an old movie, like an ET. Like it felt like there was a human behind there, like with a stick, like moving the hand. Like it kind of broke the magic of cinema to me. Like I don't know if I'm the only one who felt like that, but it didn't feel like genuine. Like of course he's a rock, so but he basically is an animal, but with the exterior of a rock. Like they base his movements in like an animal, I believe. Like he's not that rigid, and the noises also are very The noises are like a combination of, I believe, like birds and other animals. And but the way his hands move in when they first interact, I felt like it could have been better. It could be more polished. And then again, of course, you want to go fast and you want to see them develop a friendship, but I felt it could be a little bit more intense when they meet and when. Well, I really love the intensity of when the aliens throws the messages in the beginning, but when they actually meet, I believe it would. If it was real life, it would be a lot scarier, and I think it would take longer to. It would take longer for them to become friends and be able to communicate. Obviously, in a movie, that time length is different, but I mean that the scenes to me could have been a little bit longer to create that. I think that moment of like interacting with alien life for the first time is very unique, and it was like one of the moments of the movie that made me like think the most, or made me like kind of forget about my own life and just get immersed in the movie. So I think I would, if I was directing the movie, I would have extended it a little bit longer. And now I'm like at halfway point of the movie, and we stopped because we had to go to sleep, and maybe tonight we watched the rest, and I haven't seen it, like, or I haven't read it either. So I'm gonna try to predict what's gonna happen, and then maybe tomorrow I'll make another segment of the live stream talking about if my prediction matched. So I think, so basically these two guys, now they're like pals, and they need to they need to combat the protrovaline, which is this substance that eats energy from stars, right? And obviously, like the traditional movie trope or hero journeys, like, oh, they're gonna go there, fight it, find a solution, come back home, and all be happy, right? But obviously that's kind of boring. They did that a bunch of times already, and probably they're gonna do something innovative, because I heard a lot of good reviews about this movie, and up until now I really love how it looks, but the story is nothing crazy to me for now. Like, it's pretty simple. I feel like the movie of we are humans, and then there's a problem and they need to send some astronauts to save it, and they meet alien life. I feel like that's done before, or it's nothing that out of the box, right? So let's see. I actually have no idea what's gonna happen. I would say that they're gonna become closer. They're gonna go there, and I think the second part of the movie is gonna be better than the first. I think, because it can go in many directions, and hopefully it's something innovative, something I don't expect. Like, for example, will they encounter more alien life? Like, will he either find other species, or will he go and see the city of Rocky, or his planet? I think probably not, because, well, obviously it's based on the book, and in the book it's easier to write, and then turn that into visual is very hard. So they might not want to risk it there, but it depends on the book, and I haven't read the book. Will they be able, like, in the movie there's a scene where you can see that in one of these planets, for some reason the petroleum line is broken, and there's like something there. I don't know if that something is the ship from Rocky, or it's a different ship. Because if it's a different ship, that means something there is going on, and they're probably gonna go there and try to investigate it. Then the petroleum line is made out of these dots that supposedly are alien life as well, or they're cells. So I wonder what's the mystery behind that. And I wonder what's gonna be like the message of the movie. Because I feel like up until now, it just being like a 1.5 hour preparation, setting the stage, and now the action is gonna happen. But yeah, I don't know. I actually don't know what prediction to make, because I mean, I could say some like um, some weird stuff, but I'm actually trying to put myself in the mind of the director, and obviously gonna depend on the book, but so almost in the mind of the book writer. Mm, well, we'll see. I'll watch it tonight, and I'll share you guys tomorrow if it surprised me or not. But yeah, I didn't really like the performance from Ryan Gosling. I think the professor could have been more, have like, it's like he feels like a very like we don't learn much about him. It's like on a very superficial level, and we just know that he's kind of quirky and funny, and he doesn't take life too seriously. But we don't really know about his past, like his family. Maybe that's what's gonna be revealed in the second part. And yeah, we don't really like. It's like a pretty crazy situation to be in, and it's not that dramatic, right? But I guess maybe that's what the director's intention. They wanted to make more like a family movie. But like for example, Interstellar, which is also about space exploration, is like a lot more dramatic. They're not making like those type of jokes, right? So I guess they also maybe they just wanted to go in a different direction, because we already have serious space movies. So maybe they go even more uh, in the unserious direction, and something weird happens with Rocky, and they end up like in some weird, like some other dimension or something. And I wonder how they're gonna close it, because now they've been opening a lot of things, and now I think they're gonna close it, but I don't know how. And I wonder if he's gonna go back to Earth. But yeah, it's like you don't really care if he goes back to Earth or not, because he doesn't have a family, or we're not aware of his family or anything. And yeah, and you don't feel that bad for humans either, because I mean you do feel in terms of like, because we're human also, and you realize like, oh yeah, our life could end at any moment, and we kind of take for granted life, and maybe the sun explodes tomorrow and everything goes away. So that kind of creates like a tension and makes you interested in the movie. But beyond that, there's not, the stakes to me are not that high, or I wasn't that emotionally connected to the character. I think what I was most emotionally connected to, or what I was most present at, was, and giving my full attention. Well, I was always giving my full, but like what caught my eye the most was when the interaction with the alien, and like with the spaceship and all of that, and especially with the sound. The sound design really was really enjoyable. So yeah, I'll get back to you guys tomorrow and see my thoughts on that, on the second part of the movie.